Okay, we're gonna go ahead and do drain out the drain bolt. As you can see here, it's let me go and take it back out here. I just kind of put it back in here to protect the intake manifold. But you can see here, you can use a flathead or a Phillips, but you might want to just go and bring a flathead, because on the other end of your drain bolt, it's going to be this one also, where it comes all the way out, is drain bolt. When it's firstly new installed like this, is normally it's going to be plugged in, and if you're trying to drain it when you have it installed already, it's going to be very hard to get your screwdriver in there. So I recommend just loosening it. You can see right now when I loosen it up, you can see some of the reserve oil, gasoline, flow right here through it. Give me 1 second here. Let me try to take this one off if I can. That way you can see a little bit of fluid. There we go. Alright, so here we go. I'm going to loosen it up with a flathead. You can see some of the oil pour out from the drain bolt. From the bowl. There you go. Lefty loosey. See that? See the oil is coming? There it goes. It's taking his head out peak. And you can see there's not much left because we kind of tilted this way. I didn't mean to say the intake manifold side, it came out of the airflow side of the carburetor. But you can see here it's coming. It might need some more pressure release from the other end, so let's go ahead and release it on this end right here. So there it goes. And you want to put a cup so you can catch it right here. So I'm just going to put a cup here. Cheers. There we go. It's coming in there. See, there we go. So that's how you can drain it. It looks like it's coming from the opening of the bolts, or coming from the back side. It's kind of weird how it's bubbling here. Huh. Oh, it's coming from a little hole right there. I guess I thought it would come, maybe it is coming through here, I'm not too sure. But let's see if it actually come a little further. So people sometimes can adjust a little bit of their back air pressure from this end, which helps sometimes their scooter start. So let me go ahead and adjust this. Let's go clockwise. It should close it. There you go. See, I close it clockwise, counterclockwise, and it opens it back up. There we go. You can take it all the way out to like a bullet. Sometimes you might have to clean it. And then there's a rubber seal on it as well. See there? Little rubber. Let me see. I can take it all the way off here. Show you. Then there's might be no, this doesn't have a spring. Okay, so there it goes. Like a little bullet. It's almost like your brake bleeder Bonjo bolt. See there? This one's still in nice new condition. So we'll keep that back on there. So this is pretty much it. You want to go ahead and have it be able to release some pressure from the drain bolt. And people use this to adjust it. And they all use it to drain their drain bolt out. So we're just going to leave it loose a little bit. And I think that's all there is. We got quite a bit actually came out. That's how much just came out of the drain bolt right now. Looked like a good, almost, yeah, that's our gasoline. Okay, so what we're going to do is keep it, if you're going to install the new, for sure anyway, the NCY carburetor, this drain bolt might be fully tightened down already, so you want to loosen it, but not too loosen where it vibrates and just shakes off. Just loosen enough where, this is right here, it's actually tightened. So this can't go any more in, right? So you want to do is maybe, I say a couple turns, cycle, 1, full, 2, full. That's it, just 2 full cycle turns. And then there's just your air and fuel mixture here, screw. And you can also find out for sure how many turns it is until it reaches all the way to the tightening part. So let's do this. Let's see if I can fit this in here. Okay, that's half a turn right there. Here's another half a turn. Okay, looks like it's, there it goes, there it goes. Now that's the full turn right now because we went 2 cycles, half a turn. Okay. So it's like, so you want to remember where it's at. Okay, so that's half a turn. Sorry, I wish I had a, okay, and then that's a full, so that's 2 full circles right there. And then it's tight, it can't go anymore. So what you want to do is you want to remember that and go back to it if you need to. So it's not going anymore, it's not because of my fatter flathead. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and back it out 1 full turn. Okay, 1, half a turn, And then here goes. That's a full backup turn right there. I'm gonna leave it at that right there. I think the factory comes in with one full turn backup, and I kind of did the 2 backup just to see what it'll do, but I went back and put it back to its default. But again, you want to make sure you have this ready to go for loosening it, your drain bolt. So I set it for, let's see here. It's pretty, now it's screwed in really good. Okay, so we're gonna do about 2 turns out, full turn. Make sure, here we go. That's 1 full turn and 2 full turn. Anything more, I think it might vibrate this off. So that way you can actually control it from this end. Be easier for you. You can see it has some built up still. So once I release it, it should continue on to drizzle out some more. If there's enough pressure there. There you go. There's not enough to actually release it yet. So let's see if I tilt this way. There we go. Now there's pressure. So you do want to make sure that it's coming out of your drain. So you leave that open ready. And I believe you might even get away with just doing 1 full turn here as well. So I just don't feel comfortable having it come out too much. But then again, it's 2 full turns. Let's see how many turns before it actually comes out completely. And let me get a smaller flathead, that way I can get in there easier. There we go. This one's a good small one. Okay, so let's go ahead and see what controls it. Okay, let's see how many turns when it locks in, and we'll count backwards how many turns. Looks like quite a bit. Okay, so that's locked. That means righty-tighty, it's closed up. Let's go in 1. This is not going to affect too much as this ratio right here. This is your air and fuel mixture ratio. That's one's going to be more sensitive. You can tweak that once your scooter is cranked over. But I left that default 1 complete back turn from tightening. Okay, so it's quite a bit. So let's just make sure. I'll take this all out too, that way you can see what it looks like. The drain bolt. There we go. There it goes, wiggling off. Alright, there we go. Grab it. There you go. It looks like the bullet too. But I think it also might have a spring. No. Actually, the only one that has a spring will probably be this one right here, your adjusting screw for the air and fuel mixture. But it looks like a bullet too as well. It doesn't have any banjo holes or anything. It doesn't have, I'm sorry, it doesn't have any banjo holes or anything. So it just looks like that right here. Just one solid thread. I'm surprised that they don't have a washer here. Okay, so we're going to go and put that back in. So it's got quite a bit of turn. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Okay, let's go ahead and put that one back in. And I'll also take the air and fuel mixture screw off too. That way you can see what it looks like as well on that one, that end. So let me go ahead and drive this bad boy back in here. It's kind of nice to have a little small screwdriver or flathead like this one. We can use this to take out our Woodruff key too, so that's why it's kind of smashed out here. I was told that you can actually take out the Woodruff key too with a good pair of pliers and just kind of pull it out. I didn't think I had that kind of finger muscle to do it, so I had to chisel my way, get the Woodruff key out of the one side of the crankshaft arm. Okay, so this quite a ways. I think I probably can spin it. Nothing's more reliable than your finger sometimes. Okay, it's got to look quite a bit of turns. It looks like at least almost a dozen turns before it really tightens it. So I think we can afford to crack it open like 2 turns, full turns. 1, 2. That's it. I think there's enough thread here to still lock it in, even with vibration and stuff like that. Okay, so let's check this one out. I'm gonna take this all the way out, and then you can actually see what's in your air and fuel mixture ratio. And then the idle screw, it's right here. It's when your scooter's already starting it and it dies out prematurely. More than likely, it's maybe just needs a little bit more idling. So you can see that all the pin does is actually dries. It's like you pulling your throttle cable pretty much and leaving it at a certain setting. But all it does for you is actually just keeps on deepening the drive cable pull. So it's almost the same thing as you were to hold your leveler to a certain level point, but you're doing it here so that way it's automatic, where it will set to a certain tightness where the throttle will pull to a certain sort of tightness. You can see right here. So when that little pin right there hits that little bracket there, that's when the more you pull it, the more your RPM and you're raving the scooter. So what it does is set a certain point where you're comfortable with, where it doesn't die on you, but also where it's to the point where the back wheel doesn't start spinning and you can't, the scooter takes off prematurely. So that's why that's the idle screw there. And we're gonna go and take out the air and fuel mixture screw. And you notice I still have the vacuum here on the intake manifold. We'll keep that there. I was told that this line right here, only for older model, they have a vacuum on their side. So if it doesn't have that vacuum here, you can't actually just join it here. So excuse my mistake there for saying that you can just simplify your hose by cramping this vacuum, because you don't want to create a vacuum from here. This one actually is like your vent hose from your carburetor. And the PWK is going to be a little different setup, and we'll get to that when we actually install it. So looking forward to that one as well. So let's go and take this all the way out. We already know that the default is backed up 1 full turn. So we're going to go ahead and take a measurement here. And here we go.
Ow.
Okay, here we go. It's good just to take a look at everything to make sure everything works. Even though it's brand new, we want to make sure nothing's clogged in anything. You can inspect it while you're, tuning it. I can probably do it by hand now. Let's see. Yeah, I can do it by hand. Okay, we got to tighten all the way and then back up 1 full turn. So you can do that with yours too. You can kind of, when you get it, tighten it first. Well, count how many tightens it took before it got tightened. It might be a turn and a half. It might be a full turn. But there it goes. So I'm going to take it out. All right, so you can see here, I think the spring is on the other side. But yep, that's how it looks like right there. Looked like almost one of your idle jet. For a PWK anyway, but this is a CBK. So here we go. We're going to go and take out the other screw. And we're going to go ahead and tilt it. See the spring right there? There is a spring in there, but it's just stuck in there right now because it's tilted at a certain angle. And there's no need for me to, there we go. Oh, ew. You see it just kind of bounce out. And now it fell into there. Okay, so let me get my, that's what the good thing about a magnet, one of these things are. See if I can catch that poor guy there, fish him out, or if I can. If not, it's okay. We're gonna have to take out the fan shroud anyway, but you can see it's right there. Let me see if I can get a pair of pliers. I'll have to create more work for myself, huh? Okay, so let me see. There we go. Caught him out. So there it goes. There's a spring here. It doesn't have the rubber O-ring that I thought. Depends on some models there, but you can see there. There you go. Cool. Now let's go ahead and precisely drop it again. Oh boy. I feel like it kind of dropped on this paper because I heard the paper rattling here. So let me go ahead and, there you go. Right here, a little spack. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna put it back in. Or we're gonna clean it, kind of give it a blow. Okay, and we can actually see how it actually figures this one out, how it retracts. So we're gonna go ahead and take this on here. And I'm going to go ahead and put it back on here. In a second here. There we go. That's pretty much it right there. That's your air and fuel mixture screw. And don't get confused for all the other ones too when they say they're enricher. So that's it. That's the only thing you gotta pretty much tune is your idle and your air mixture screw. And again, just for good easy access, have your drain bolt maybe a couple turns so it can actually have it ready to flow out, and then you can just use this right here to actually, you know, flow it. So we're gonna go ahead and close this up, put this back like a incision there, and now we're gonna go and tighten it. Bring my flathead again. I'm gonna tighten much of my hand first. Should tighten pretty easily. Okay, and remember getting the setting again. We want to back it out after it's been tightened. One full turn back out, lefty, counterclockwise. After we fully tighten it, first see where it's at in tightening part. Almost there. I know it's more horizontal, not vertical like this, so we still have ways to go. Almost. Yeah, very sensitive. A little bit of turn can make the fuel and air ratio different. So when you're tuning, this is where they're trying to get at. Okay, I hear the spring tension now coming on play. Okay, so that's it. See, it's more horizontal like I mentioned. Now we're going to do a full turn, bring it back to the same spot like this. So here we go. That's half a turn. One more to go. And there it is right there. That was what was set to default, so we'll keep it there. All right, so now it's time to go ahead and take the fan shroud out. So we got to take this bolt out here, and I believe there's a couple more on the other side, so we'll work on that. While we're here, let's go ahead and take this one out, and that will help us relieve the top part, well, the bottom part getting ready. But the top part could be relieved. We just have to go ahead and get all the bolts from this side right here, 2 bolts. So not much more to do. They're the same 8mm socket. We might need extension. So let's go ahead and prepare for that. Where's my smaller socket wrench? Maybe I have it out here already. Okay. Okay, we'll go and close this up as well since we have it open like this. This one has the rubber O-ring. Close it up so no more fuel can just come freely flow. I think we drained out the drain bolt, the drain bowl already of the carburetor. That's the drain bowl of the carburetor right here, this whole unit. So we're gonna go ahead and tighten this up. This is great access to drain out your drain bolt from time to time. If the gasoline sits there for too long, gasoline is only good for a good month. After that, you know, it just fumes out. It's kind of like, it's not gonna be effective as it was when it first freshly came from the pump. Okay, so let me find my socket driver there. Maybe I have it all out ready to go. That's probably why it's not in here, but I have my socket in here. Okay, let me go and find that real quick. Oh, I'm probably sitting on a few. There we go. See the big one here. Maybe it fell through the cracks. Yeah, I did right there. Little slot here falls through. All right. So we got that there. We're going to go ahead and connect the extension and go back to where we were and continuing to take out our timing cover and shroud. Get everything away. Let's see if we can get access to it. Push the fan down more. Okay, so it doesn't need the extension. It's not like too long. So probably just this one will do it. There we go. Get to it right there. Lefty loosey. Can't always tell with the swing arm. go. Okay, this is probably tightening it, so we'll flick it the other way. A little cramp, but it'll work. Wait till it gets in there nicely. Come on. Let me go ahead and try set this down on the tripod. That way I can free up my hand to do the other ones. So here we go. All right.
Hey.
All right, hey.
Oh! You blew my hair.
All right.
You blew my hair.
Okay, there we go. We're gonna go ahead and try to.
Hey.
Okay, I got this set down here. That way I can have two hands free. You can see me try to get that bolt out. Again. All right, so now I can kind of get a feel for the bolt a little bit better. Okay, there we go. Backing it out. Might not be enough room to back out, so I might even go with a smaller 8mm socket. That will probably help a little bit. Let me go and find an 8mm socket. I see 10. I need that 8mm. Oh, this one will do it. Okay, so we got 8mm socket here. Just 8mm only. There we go, 8mm. We're gonna go ahead and dry that one guy out of there. I could probably even go from the bottom now. The thing is, see, without the extension, this will be too little. Yeah, okay, that will somewhat work. Let me try to get the smaller socket, but add the extension on, just kind of medium way, I guess. So maybe this will probably work. This one without the extension, but I can come from the bottom like this. Yeah, this probably might work. This probably would be the best option. Okay, so here we go. I got to hold it down because it's still kind of loosey.
Mommy! Mommy!
Okay, here we go.
Mommy!
Okay. Get this at an angle. Like I said, I wish they made a more sensitive socket where it allows you not have to use your hand to hold in place, because the screw can come out maybe by bare hand. Let's see. Yeah, pretty easy enough. I can do it by hand. Okay, so the fan shrouds there will give us a little better idea how the manifold is going to be mounted, intake manifold. So it's almost ready. We can take it off from the other side as well. But let's go and get to the other side and unscrew the remaining two bolts that's probably holding it right here on top. There's one more right there behind this rubber boot. So we're going to take those two out. You can do a Phillips too if you can't get your socket in there, but I think we could probably get away with a socket. If not, we can just get a Phillips on it. All we gotta do is just crack it loose a little bit. There we go. This side right here. This is where maybe a Phillips will just do the trick. Yeah, we'll just get a Phillips real quick and drive it. So let's go and put this on back. Change our head here to a Phillips. That one much easier with a Phillips. Alright, this one's already coming off. You don't have to take it completely off, keep it in its very top rubber housing. Can't see with the boot. Let me try to hold this boot. Get it down there. See that? See it from right here actually. It's coming off. That's it. That's probably the last 3 bolts that's holding the top cover with the bottom cover shroud. See, it dropped. Okay, so I think we already got this one off. There we go. We got the bottom fan shroud off. We'll keep this along with the other shroud. Then we got the top one here. It's gonna give us access to the cam chain tensioner. Okay, let's do a little lift on this one real quick. Lift this up. There we go. We got this lifted. Now we're gonna have to kind of maybe push the scooter down a little bit to free up some more. Pushing it down. There we go. Careful, these are plastic. There we go. Let it come sliding out. Want to make sure we don't lose the screws. There's one screw here. We should have the other one more screw. So we'll put that back in a spot. Let's go, there it goes. There's the other screw. And then I believe we already brought back, if we didn't, let's go and bring that back. We set this aside right here nicely. Let's bring back the other screw. If we didn't bring it back here. See, this has its own 2 screws. That has 2 screws there. So let's go and get that screw so we don't have to worry about it. The screw that we took off of here. So let's see where it went. I believe we didn't just throw it back in the socket here. So we might have carried it over. So there's our head completely exposed, and our cylinder, and our cam chain tensioner, which I think this might be a defective cam chain tensioner too, because normally when you release it, the tensioner should flow back, extend, retract. Gosh, hate looking for something that we could have just easily prepped for it. We probably knocked it out when we yanked the bottom part, so it might have teeter-tot. There it is, see? Investigation solved. There it goes. So we'll make sure we'll put this back. In fact, you can probably leave it in here onto that air chassis of the scooter, so that way you know you have it. So here we go. So you can just leave it back on here. Be easier for you to remember where one screw has gone to. So I'm gonna go and try attempt to screw it back on here. Just hand tighten it, no biggie. Okay, careful not to cross thread it. You'll start feeling it if it goes in properly. It should screw in easily. All right, there we go. Give it a good turn, a few, so it won't, easily fall off unnaturally. Okay, so there it goes. That one's screwed in, so let's go ahead and inspect our cam chain. And you can see again, our lashes are definitely off. And it doesn't seem too bad. Now that I took it off and inspected it, you can see here, our slashes, sorry. Let me bring the engine up or lower, let's see. Okay, so you can bring the engine up more. You can see our slash right here. It's still a pretty good timing mark, you know what I mean? It doesn't seem too bad. We can try to maybe go ahead and just gap it. Meaning take the slash. Again, when this is top dead center, the cam facing this way, your lobes here should be like almost like a upside down or facing V shape like this, your lobe. So when it's turning, the lobes will come up like this. So this is probably be considered the highest point, where now when it comes up like this, it pushes this and it actually makes the valve spring go toward the piston. So over here it should be at the lowest point where the valve springs are retracted into the cylinder head. I mean the valve itself is retracted cylinder head, and this right here should not gap this much. Being top dead center, this should actually be at 0.004 for the intake and 0.005 for the exhaust. So I mean, we already took the fan shroud. We're probably going to leave it off for this testing phase. We can mount back the intake manifold, go ahead and put the new oil in there. We probably won't even have to dump the oil again. It doesn't seem like the oil comes up when the engine's not cranked over all the way to the front, because this is like, I think this is just like assembly oil right now. It's not even wet from motor oil. So what that means, that tells me is we could take this off and inspect the cylinder head, but I just don't want to break the gasket yet. So let's go ahead and do this. Let's just gap it where it is, even though I know this might create a problem being at tension on this. So I'm gonna have to go ahead and